Hey folks, so just a quick heads up, if the end of the last video didn't make it extremely obvious, this is going to be really spider heavy for the next two videos. So if you have arachnophobia, now would be the time to get out.
Well, let's be honest here. Arachnids in hack and slash games are a little bit above, I guess, generic skeletons in terms of a threat. Like, they're a lot scarier in first-person shooters.
Yeah, but I imagine that they're also a lot more scary to people with arachnophobia than, most spiders in either most other games or, IRL. Just kind of relatively speaking in the proportions.
I mean, I guess, but it's also like a third-person character, so he's the one who's getting menaced by spiders, not us. Speaking of which...
Anyway, this is the Iron Canopy. After our little excursion into the Ashlands, this is, we're back to proper dungeon territory.
Why did we need a button prompt for that? We have a sword.
Doesn't look like you
No, we can't slash it, we can only rip it. Them's are the rules.
to avoid it for now.
So we're okay with getting sticky spiderwebs on our hands, just not on our blade. I'm blessing us, by the way. I figured I should mention that just so, somebody who cares actually knows.
It's a valid concern.
So anyway, yeah, spiders.
I'm guessing the small ones are really one of the swarm things rather than a particularly dangerous individual foe.
Yeah, they're more annoying than anything. In general, this the way the enemies kind of work, I guess, in this dungeon is that, like, you'll notice there's a lot of them just kind of hanging out on the wall. They're mostly passive, but after about a point about maybe halfway through the dungeon, they will start attacking you the instant you enter the room. So yeah, that's a thing.
Ah, the old vague escalating tension gambit. I can respect it.
Yeah, I guess we're supposed to be, like, scared of the spiders in a non-arachnophobic way, like...
Moderate hesitancy. It's like vague awareness that, yeah, they're there. They're definitely going to be a problem at some point.
So wait, this guy knows who we are, and yet he's coming at us anyway?
Well, angels never were the smartest bunch.
I feel like this guy deserves whatever's coming to him.
They probably have some contractual obligation. They're probably more afraid of whoever would be angry at them if they didn't immediately try to murder themselves on us. That's always how it is in these games.
Wow. It's a good thing that we just barely got over that bridge before it collapsed. How fortunate.
That's the classic Zelda dungeon design. Well, okay, that's a chest.
Yeah, that's a sneaky one.
You gotta love the hiding things in little corners that you just walked right past and relying on you to turn around at weird times and look at things weirdly closely.
I mean, yeah, that's exploration. You can't really fault a game for that.
It's mostly, like, there are a lot of ways to do that without making it really, really obnoxious. Mostly involving giving them a map at some point and just saying, look, there was a thing here. And then you'll be like, oh wow, I walked right past that.
So am I correct in thinking that your character has multiple health bars?
Yes. We have a lot of health bars right now.
So these things, I guess, are... I guess that's kind of more of a Metroid thing. Sort of like you have multiple energy tanks.
I mean, it's one big health bar. It's just a tidy way of displaying a large number.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, in terms of presentation.
I mean, yeah, the energy tank metaphor is not a bad point of comparison. Anyway, let's do a puzzle.
I love puzzles.
I sometimes love puzzles.
Let's not do a puzzle.
Yeah, I don't think that was the right solution.
Well, the first puzzle is figuring out how to navigate these tiny-ass little platforms.
Yeah, I guess when War has this much stuff strapped to him, he's a little bit hard to wield, hard to move around, that is.
This is kind of pushing it a bit. Like, the aesthetic of this place is all well and good, but like... Yeah.
Yeah, it seems a little dark, like nothing's really signposted that well.
It's not even that, it's just the tiny beams over the bottomless death pit. And the, like, any slight variation in your walking directly forward will cause you to instantly die.
Well, you don't die, this is Zelda, you just get put back where you started. It's okay to have precision movement when the penalty for not being precise is a mild inconvenience.
Debatable.
I mean, ideally, it wouldn't have awkward movement at all, but I'm saying that, at the very least, it's not, you know, game-breaking.
It could be worse. Well, grant, it could be worse. I also thought it was hilarious that we could literally throw the spinning scythe through the steel beam in order to destroy a spider.
Yeah, it's more of like a spiritual weapon. You see this all glowy purple thing? It doesn't actually have. It looks like it doesn't really have a physical form so much as it's a metaphor for a scythe.
It's a metaphor for our deeply cutting wit.
I doubt that War really is much for words, other than, I guess, unintelligible screaming.
I mean, it's like when somebody on the internet, when somebody tells a funny joke and then somebody's like, "Oh, I am slain." That kind of metaphor.
What are we talking about?
Exactly. Anyway, so now that we've murdered our way through the spiders in this room, now we have this,
It's a seesaw.
Indeed, a seesaw.
And I suppose we couldn't just grab something heavy and put it on the end?
There was a thing hanging on it before, I think we cut it off, but...
Yeah, one of the spider's nest was on the other side initially, so you have to destroy that before it lowers so that you can get to it.
Look, it's far simpler to just stop time in order to prevent it from tilting in an inconvenient direction. Like, let's not overthink this.
So did he actually have to punch in the top of the chest in order to move it?
Yes. Don't worry about this too much.
This game has several, like, very over-exaggerated incidental animations, and I love it.
Well, yeah, it's cribbing off of God of War, where even opening a chest required a feat of Herculean strength. Like, he was grunting for all he was worth.
It's more like, let's make everything absolutely as violent as possible.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest here. The violence doesn't feel like it has a lot of weight to it.
Because it doesn't, really. This is very much, you know, the sort of super violent because it's cool type thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know, in terms of presentation and editing, like, you know, Arkham games, when you hit something, there's a sort of a brief pause and a real harsh crunch.
Yeah, this is not that.
It does feel kind of just like your weapons are phasing through things instead of actually impacting things.
It's not crunchy. Arkham was an extremely crunchy kind of game. I don't know. It's not like you can't be graceful in this kind of style, but it's just not the same.
Well, you're playing, like, war. Everything should have, like, this big, like, boom to it, a big impact. You're supposed to be just a big slab of meat, just smacking things. I don't really think that style and grace come into it when it comes to this guy.
Also, like, I have questions about the tensile properties of the spider webs.
I mean, they're so strong that he has to pull it apart, so maybe they are just, like, super strong silk.
I mean, we are in a place called the Iron Canopy. It's not like, you know, maybe Scythe has just got super webs.
Yeah, maybe this is like an ultra-fine iron thread.
Alright, so our objective here is to cross over that gap. But as soon as we come down here, the big spider on the ceiling will go over and block that off. So we have to figure out how to get around him.
Why couldn't we just kill the big spider on the ceiling?
Because he's got a big hard shell that we can't hurt.
I mean, I assume that this is going to involve the big heavy stone block and the questionable tensile properties of the web. I mean, that's just a feeling that I have.
Don't make me call you again.
Ooh, an annoying video game helper. That's even better.
Please do not speak ill about my son, Evil Mark Hamill.
Well, yep. That sure was roughly what I thought.
What is this thing that's grabbing the stone block?
It's like a big demon tongue thing?
They're like the barnacles from Half-Life.
I mean, they might very well be the barnacles from Half-Life. This game's cribbing from so many other things.
I mean, yeah, they basically are. Well, I guess the only way in which I was really meaningfully wrong about this is that we had to do it twice.
Well, no, I think we had to time it so that it was right under the block.
No, we could have absolutely done that the first time. But I screwed up because I was trying to get that chest with the Wrath Fragment the first time, and I fell off when I was trying to jump over there. So I had to drop the block so I could get picked up again.
Okay, they're on green fire now.
I suppose that must mean they're stronger.
Yeah, this is just an upgraded skeleton. So let's set ourselves on fire to show our dominance.
Well, as you know, green is more powerful than red, so I think they'd actually overpower us. At least when I'm thinking about fire in terms of how hot it's supposed to be. That means that eventually we're going to run into white skeletons. Then we'll be really in trouble.
These guys are cowards for using magic fire instead of real fire.
I think that real fire might actually be more dangerous to us.
Wait, what are you talking about, Blast? I literally set myself on fire at the start of this fight.
Well, no, I'm saying just skeletons running at you with giant cans of gasoline or something.
I mean, that's just gonna set us on fire without us having to do anything ourselves.
Yeah, but it's going to be the bad kind of fire.
What, like green fire? I don't understand.
Well, see, if we're set on fire when we don't want to be set on fire...
Why would we not want to be set on fire?
Well, we don't want to be set on fire because it takes our mana bar to be set on fire.
Right, but if an enemy's gonna come along and set us on fire for us...
Yeah, but I think that probably would just drain our mana bar anyway because, well, that is the intrinsic property of being on fire. Wait, what? He teleported over to stop that spider.
Yeah, this game has a lot of canned animations. You will see that a lot.
That thing looks at the same time both incredibly angry and incredibly ineffectual.
So we have to mark spiders hiding on, or climbing on, a climbable surface so that they won't knock us off the surface when we... Yeah, this is Zelda.
I mean, unlike Zelda, we could just stab them with our sword while we are up there. But in this case...
Also, it looks like marking things with your not boomerang is a lot more tedious in this game.
And those things didn't take very much killing, did they?
They're spiders.
I mean the smashy tentacle things.
Oh, the smashy tentacle thing regenerates.
Ah. That makes much more sense.
Also, think about this game that just came out, Devil May Cry 5, where the tentacles are just basically health repositories. They're easily the least dangerous enemy in that game.
They're like walking vending machines. Pretty cold, Raiden. I'm making a reference.
That you are. Oh, it's that thing in God of War where you have to power up like a mighty kick, only you punched it, which is a lot less cool.
Oh, we can punch a crate across a gap, it rules.
Yeah, but consider this. Sparta kicking a crate across a gap.
It's not a Sparta kick unless it's into a pit. That's just the rules. That's just how it works. We've been over the rules.
I mean, he does make a convincing argument that a big kick would be cooler than just a big punch.
I guess? Maybe? Point is, it's a cool puzzle element. It lets us do a thing that other video games have also let us do, but it's boring. But when this game does it, it's interesting, and that makes it good.
So did we just do that entire block pushing and elevator thing so we could transport a sticky bomb?
Yes.
Pretty much. It's the only kind of bomb that can blow up the red crystals.
Despite the fact that we have 4 giant weapons?
They can only blow up the blue crystals.
I don't think you understand how this works, Blast. Our fist can only break the ice crystals, but the red crystals require explosives.
Yeah, they're made of, like, blood ice or something.
It's like the ice that got hit by the laser in the Griever boss fight. You know, once it turned red, there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh yeah, it's the law. It's just like, nope. You've clearly forgotten how the game mechanics work. Also, you seem to have some trouble here.
It's just old fire hands.
Yeah, but like, we've burned through quite a few health bars.
So I'm gonna assume that you fought this guy before, right?
Well, we've fought another version of him before.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why you were fast-forwarding through it.
Oh, it's a big room full of enemies that are mostly all just, like, slight stat variants on enemies that we've already seen.
Yeah, but this game is supposed to be about war, you know, like his whole thing is fighting. Why would you fast-forward past the fighting?
Because the fighting is samey and uninteresting?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't terrible to do. It's just like, people get it. There's only so much of a point. That's a new one. I don't think I've seen that before, right?
So I think, based on some of the context, breakable stuff, especially like in this room, that the Iron Canopy is supposed to have been a hospital of some kind?
I could see it.
Like, there's some wheelchairs in this room, and...
Yes, beds with wheels on them is pretty distinctive. There aren't a lot of places that would have those.
Why are these things just breakables? Like, why can't we go through the entire game just hitting stuff with a hospital bed?
I mean, there are a lot of opportunities to hit things with cars.
I'm just thinking that's a whole lot cooler than hitting things with a scythe.
Yeah, but the Scythe is, like, from hell or something, and is very specifically imbued with, like, hell properties.
So why not make a hospital bed from hell?
You'd have to ask hell. Look, we don't make the rules. The rules aren't complicated, man.
All I'm saying is that this could have been a game about hitting stuff with a whole bunch of, like, ridiculous props, and the props are these just small set pieces that just immediately break.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A game that's based around using a demon-fused hospital bed as your main weapon would be interesting. I don't know if it would be good, but it would certainly be interesting.
Well, here's the plan. Maybe you have the power to infuse things with demon magic, and so you can just turn props in the environment into weapons.
So here's the hookshot.
Ah, I did wonder. Good hookshot.
Really, man? You grab something from afar and you just use it to squash a spider?
Like, this is a good, sensible, thematically on point, mechanically interesting version of a thing that's in Zelda. I mean, I'm all in favor of literally every game just having a hookshot in it. Every game should have a hookshot in it.
I mean, to be fair, you've already used the hookshot for more useful applications than you ever use it for in a Zelda game. Like, how many Zelda games can you think of where you actually can use a hookshot to, like, tear stuff off of enemies?
Twilight Princess. And I'm pretty sure Wind Waker used that with the grappling hook.
No, the grappling hook was used to just pull consumable item or collectible items out of pockets.
You could steal things with a grappling hook, and it ruled incredibly. The hookshot was for, like, actually moving enemies around, and I don't think there was I don't think any of these games that have had a hookshot have let you just grab things from afar and then immediately chain them into a throw. That rules. That rules incredibly. That's video games.
Yeah, why would you even pull something to you just to hook onto it and then swing it around on a giant chain?
Now that would be cool, but that is not something we can do in this game. But yeah, so this dungeon is a lot like the Temple of Time. So now that we have come to the end and gotten the toy, we have to go backwards and kill all the spiders now.
I mean, that doesn't sound so bad.
All the spiders.